Hey Capricorn Seeker, how was your birthday? Happy February. Six of Cups. You were like, I was obsessing. You asked how my birthday was. I was obsessing. I was sulking a little bit. That's okay. The past has a grip on us. It's not always bad. It's nice to travel to a parallel timeline, which we call past. Seeing how much we've gone through, how much we have achieved and grown. It's not all bad, but it's also not all good. We need to hold a sweet spot for the past, especially us poets. The Empress. Something about your childhood and possibly your connection with your mom, or connection to maternity or femininity, your womanhood. And how it has evolved over the years for those of you ladies that are ladies. Siblings are coming through. Ten of Swords. So there's something painful about these sweet memories. Maybe they can only be memories for whatever reason, and I'm sorry if that's the case. Maybe there is a veil, a border between the timelines, and they are on the other side, and you want to reach out and grab them, but they keep fading out into the ether. Their molecules will not condense into an image in front of you that you can touch and feel. And maybe it's bittersweet memories. Maybe there were good times, but maybe there were also really bad times. And you keep trying to hold on to the good memories, but the bad ones, the hurtful ones, just keep taking over. And you don't want to focus on that. The Wheel of Fortune. You want to generate change, growth. You don't want to be in that cycle, in that loop of a painful childhood, of a painful circumstance, of a painful loss. There's just so much of grieving shadow work that I can do, Morgane. You're right. Some of you are going back to the days where you were hiding curled up in the closet or behind the bed, behind the couch, in the bathroom, praying for the drama to stop. And maybe school was a sanctuary of some sort, but even there, the drama in home manifested for drama with your classmates. It can be quite brutal. And maybe there was no safe space. But there were moments of magic that created the magical creature that you are, Cappy. The Emperor. And there comes the Dad archetype. The effect that he had. Some of you maybe moved from living with one parent to another. Maybe they divorced at a young age. You stayed with one parent and then you moved to live with the other person because maybe the first parent couldn't take care of you anymore for whatever reason. Some of you have experienced a loss of a parent when you grew up with one parent. But they were never apart. There was something very, very, very strong tying them together, your parents. Whether they were divorced or one of them got widowed. The bond or the karma or the soul contract were just... It may have taken a very long time to finalize or to reach a resolution or a release. Watch Karmic Shift and Liberation, the project that I did for this decade. I think those of you who are watching this reading and resonating could really use this Karmic Shift and Liberation. There's one for each sign. You can find it on Vimeo or you have it for unlimited streaming on Patreon. So patrons you can watch. But anyway. And something about them really trickled into your adult life, into your relationship, to your gender role definitions. I feel like there's very specific role. This is what a man should do. This is what a woman should do. This is what a boyfriend does. This is what a girlfriend does. And it was established by your circumstance in combination with your inherent as a Capricorn need of knowing the structure that is around you, the structure of the things that you're in. It strengthened it. But I think you are called to explore who you are. Too many cards. Those of you that are in a relationship are worried that you are repeating your parents. You probably are. 8 of Cups, and you feel the need to walk away from that. From dating your mom or dating your dad or being within the same dynamic that you grew up with. And you're like, is it love or is it just my psychological issues? Well, most likely it's always a combination of also love, right? Love will draw us to heal the psychological needs. Right? We will fall in love with the person that can help reflect and mirror the wounds to us. Until we do. And then these individuals kind of leave our lives, you know. And once the major traumas or the major parental issues, childhood issues, or the repetition of past lifetime injuries and trauma is resolved by the most parts and healed, our spirit is open and free to actually fall in love with someone from a place of soul love. It's always soul love, but a place that is mostly about the spiritual soul and passionate and romantic love, as opposed to two people being each other's psychologist and have sex. When I say each other's psychologist, I don't mean the person that sits and is qualified to hear you and give you counsel. I mean the person that is triggered by you, and you trigger them, and then you show each other what hurts. And then you got to be your own psychologist and your own therapist. But 8 of Cups, you don't want that. I'm kind of done with that. Eight of Pentacles, 2 8s. Some of you are focusing on your work, are going to kind of try to deal with it or retrieve from it by really diving into your work, into your finances, into your studies, whatever it is that you do on a daily level. By the most parts, you're going to zone into that, to zone out of that. And I see you realizing, well, how can I let go of my past if I'm still living with my past? The Fool. And you break out. Some of you are going to have a big new beginning this month. You're not going to bind yourself to anything that doesn't make you happy. You're going to choose your own personal freedom of the heart, of the spirit. You're not going to let structure or societal rules and regulations, or even your own rules and regulations, to bind you. Bottom of the deck, Judgment. Major wake-up call, major awakening, realization. It's like your spirit is roaring from the inside. You want to enjoy life and the fruits of life. You want to explore. You want to feel like a child again. You want to start your childhood anew as an adult, and not just be the same child that you were in the body of an adult, if that makes any sense. Big changes. Big changes. But there's a lot of faith and love, Ace of Cups, and hope, and a new start. That's exciting. And it feels very, very refreshing. Like water to the thirsty. Okay. The Sun and 9 of Wands. So some of you have children. Some of you, it goes into account, obviously. I do somehow see potential pregnancy or another child added to the family. It might be a surprise child. It might not be something planned, but either way. Yeah, you might suddenly be like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And, well, now what? It's like, I'm not telling you what to do with that. That's yours, baby. But obviously it's an added aspect to this. It adds a lot of consideration. But guys, we're here now. If you think that might be a possibility, and you're not interested in getting pregnant, so be cautious, exercise caution. So you should know that it's like, it can happen if you're not careful. Now, if it's something that you want, great. If it's something that both of you want, great. If it's not, then just be careful. I feel like some of you really want to bring life to the world constantly. You have a thing with it. It's like you have this thing with creating life. You dig it. It makes you feel empowered and alive. And so just make sure that it also fits your situation in life. Do it considering the child as well, and not just the instant gratification. Definitely don't use a child or a pregnancy for anything, other than this is right and this is time. Okay? Children are not glue for marriage. Love is glue for marriage. Okay? Show me more, please. Capricorn, February. Two of Cups and Two of Pentacles. So there's love here, possibly new love, new romance. There's a dilemma of some sort of how to go about it. Possibly considering, should I go there? Should I not go there? Should I travel there? Should I not travel there? Should I be with them? Should I not be with them? And all that jazz. It looks good with the Two of Cups here. And the Two of Pentacles, it's always like it's a false dilemma. Two of Pentacles contains the Ace of Pentacles, the absolute knowing of what your truth is and where you belong, right? And when we add another pentacle and get split into two halves in this infinity symbol, being stuck in a loop, you're just looking at yourself in the mirror. This pentacle is the same pentacle, so it's a false dilemma. Okay, one is you, the other is a reflection of your fears and hesitation. Go with what you know to be true and what you are. It's amazing how many Capricorns are dealing with the same thing. It's crazy. I know several Capricorns that this could fit to. Okay. Because you guys, okay, let's throw some loving shade. Okay, you guys really tend to get stuck in places that aren't for you, that make you miserable, that don't lead anywhere, or it's just like a superficial element of leading somewhere, right? And you would just shut and shun your heart till forever just because you can, right? Well, I am resistance, I am strong, I am able. But if there's one thing I wish for all Capricorns to learn is, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can survive a terrible climate doesn't mean you need to live in a terrible climate if you have other options. Of course you can. You're Capricorn. You're strong as fuck. But especially if we're talking about love, I mean, I don't think it should apply to anything. I don't think you should be miserable anywhere. Life is too short, and like what? But especially with love, it's not a business partnership. It's also a business partnership after it's first and foremost love, right? Yes, it needs to match. Yes, it needs to fit. Yes, in order to build a life together, it needs to make sense and work. It needs to work. Okay? Agree 100%. However, if you need to understand, you need to remember, I'm sorry, that the foundation, the core of it, is there needs to be first and foremost love, and then there also needs to be those things. But if it's just seemingly those things but no love, you'll crumble and die on the inside very slowly, while probably making your person miserable. Because a Capricorn that stays with someone that they don't love, or that they know it's not leading anywhere, but they're holding on to it just to prove that they can, or that they can make that person do what they want to do, or get them to see how they see things. It's like, that's tough. So, with all the goodness on the table, I'm also seeing someone, I'm seeing someone who wants kids and someone that doesn't want kids. You might be in a relationship where one of you is ready and the other is not, and that could be an issue. Kids need two parents that want them. This is not about you or them. It's about your potential child that deserves to be born to two parents that love them. Now, if you're a single parent and you're adopting or having, a sperm donor, all that jazz, that's another thing, okay? But if you're with someone and you're bringing a child into the world, when one of you knows that they don't want it or not ready for it, I personally find it to be very selfish. I would be a hypocrite and say, but you should do whatever you want to do. But you know what? It's there are so many miserable children in the world with parents who have so many issues, and well, why is there so many divorces? Because you bring kids to the world when you're already not getting along. That's selfish AF. Like, what? Again, a child is not a glue. Now, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's the person. Maybe it's the person that you're with is doing that. I don't know. But if it is you, you need to hear this. Okay? Because where there's the most shade, there's the most sun, right? Sun is the thing that, the sunlight is the thing that sheds, it creates shadow. You can't have a shadow without a light. So if I'm throwing shade at you, it's because the sun is right behind me. Truth is like needing to project itself towards you. So don't blame the messenger. Blame it on the sun. Some of you have been cycling karmic relationships for a very long time. And when Saturn transitioned through your sign alongside Pluto, it was meant to help you really let go of that. But some of you only glued yourself even tighter to karmic relationships. I'm going to say something to you, Cappy. Okay. And maybe this will help. You deserve love. Big, crazy, romantic, intoxicating, mutual love. And maybe you're stuck because you think you don't deserve that, or you can't have something like that, and this is the best you'll ever have. Look, I don't know what's the best you'll ever have. I don't know you personally, but if right now you're unhappy, then you're unhappy. Sitting in your unhappy swamp, telling yourself that you're happy is not going to make you happy. You know what will make you happy? What will make you happy is go out and do things that make you happy. Be in places that make you happy with people who make you happy. According to what makes you happy, not what should make you happy, not what is supposed to make you happy, not what can ideally make you happy in theory, not what used to make you happy and you wish it could return to how it was. The timelines are on the other side of the veils. You are here. This is a legitimate, wonderful timeline. Instead of trying to run away from it or force another timeline onto this timeline, create this timeline to be amazing. You don't create a better timeline by jumping into a better timeline. You create a better timeline by creating a great timeline within the timeline you're in, and that automatically then filters into that great timeline, and the veil just lifts or drops, and it becomes the same thing, because that's what frequencies do. Similar frequencies just automatically bound, and dissonance wise frequencies just repel. Okay, so if you're in this unhappy place and you want to be in that happy timeline, you can't go there. You can't. It will keep rejecting you. This is frequency of happiness. This is frequency of misery. I'm simplifying it, right? So you'll keep soaking in that thought of happiness, but if you're not, your body, your heart is not feeling it, then it's not echoing that frequency. If you want to go to that timeline, level the frequency. Make yourself happy, not by telling yourself that you're happy. Om chakalaka, I'm happy. Om chakalaka, I'm happy. You're not just... Be happy by doing happy things, okay? If going out right now and buying yourself milkshake, even though it's freezing outside, but you're like, oh my God, I wish I could have a milkshake right now. But it makes no sense. It's super cold. You're going to have to put on all these things, and milkshake is not that healthy. Okay, well, take a non-dairy milkshake. Take a coconut milk milkshake. It's freaking delicious. And go get that milkshake. Vegan milkshake. Let's keep the cows happy too. We can all be happy. It's not a contradiction. Yay. And then you're doing something that makes you happy, and then you're drinking that vegan milkshake, and you're just ecstatic. Just stand there like an idiot under the snow, drinking your cold ass milkshake, but you're covered, you're well dressed, you did something that makes you happy. There you go. Yeah, it's the little things. Oh, you're in a relationship that reminds you exactly of your parents or your past pain, and it never leads anywhere, and it never changes, and you keep thinking that this is how they used to be, or this is how they can be, or this is how I want them to be, but they won't be, and this is what I want them to want, but they don't want. And it's like, instead of constantly trying to force someone to be something that they're not, and that makes you the bad guy, not them. Them knowing what they want and what they don't want, that's them having a moral, emotional, cognitive, spiritual backbone. You trying to force someone to want something that they don't want just because you want it, that's a little tyrannical, cutie. Okay? So instead, be like, okay, what will make me happy? Not fighting someone. Not forcing someone. See? As soon as you level up the frequency, it'll just be, everything will just happen. And no, it doesn't mean that person will align or that thing will happen exactly like you want it to happen. It means that things you couldn't even imagine that you wanted could happen to you. Because now they're able to tap into you. Because magical things have magical frequencies. But if you're in the rot frequency, it ain't gonna come to you, bro. Then things that you can't even imagine will will just be there for you. From people to things to places to opportunities. You gotta be open to it though. I'm going to continue this reading right now in your extended. We'll focus on your love life. We'll see the actual dynamic and the detail and how things unfold, and I'll finish up with messages from the runes. You can find it below in the description box. It's available on Vimeo and on Patreon. And also feel free to check out the Tarot Masterclass Bunkai. Thank you to one of my seekers who referred to me in one of the comments as the Shakespeare of tarot readers. That made me so very happy. Thank you. Thank you to the truckers of Canada who are now standing up, driving up for freedoms for everyone. You are heroes, and I'm so very proud of you, and I'm standing with you very proudly. The existential shift is with you for fighting for freedoms. Okay? Please, across the board, it doesn't matter what political party you belong to, your status, it doesn't matter. Human freedoms will always apply to you, even if circumstantially and anecdotally right now they don't apply to you. Okay? Because every time something is set to apply for one group of people, it will inevitably come to apply to another group of people soon enough. Soon enough. Don't let something that you don't want to be done to you to be done to another. Especially if you're a spiritual empath. Just when it's comfortable and just when it's your fight, but when it's someone else's fight and it's not very comfortable, then you're, oh, I'm just focusing on harmony, and I don't want to stir up. I'm a peaceful, harmonious person. What is it with cowards using words like harmony and spirituality as ways to excuse their cowardness and receive credit for nothing? Don't be a coward. Be an existential shifter. And be a trucker. Peace out.